I'm obviously Nate, the guy that you've been talking to.
Cool.
Obviously, you know MJ from his stupidity online, and Stuart.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Steve?
Oh, good man.
Cool.
With the pleasantries out of the way, let's do a podcast.
Whoa!
You don't always need to do that, Michael.
Sorry.
But it is nice. Hi there, and welcome to FRUK Unwrapped, the superior way to enjoy Food Review UK, as confirmed by a number of fans last show. My name is Nathan Peterson, and tonight's show will be a big old batch bake of brownie chatter. But first, I couldn't think of any good brownie puns to describe our first host, so I'll just tell you his name is Stuart Bullock. It's Stuart Bullock.
Yeah, cheers, Nate. Yeah, when you're not going to put the effort in, shows me how loved I am. Yeah. Cheers.
I do love you, if that's
right. You need to show me, don't you? You need to show me your love. What have you done for me lately? In the words of Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately, Nate?
I complimented you on your Bardcore poem earlier.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Complimenting me on my poetry, like 21st century men.
No soliloquies with you today.
No. Next is a man who also doesn't particularly have anything brownie related to make fun of, so I'll just tell you his name is Michael Jameson. It's Michael Jameson.
Oh, you're really calling in this episode, Jesus. Could have said he's like stodgy and still good if under bait. No, yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
It's quite hard. It was a difficult one to do an intro for, so I thought I'd just completely flip it on its head and just introduce you as human beings by your birth names. I assume your birth names. You haven't changed your identity in the last 30 plus years?
Not to my knowledge.
Nope.
Although, well, my Zorg is my, but they don't let me talk about that.
And neither will we. And finally, a man who has won our affection, not only with his incredible product, but his infectious personality. Please welcome to the show, main dude, John from Brooklyn Brownie Co. Oh, I've just gnawed that one up. This is why I don't do proper intros sometimes. Hi, John.
Hey, how you guys doing?
How are you? You've got a very interesting accent there. What part of the UK are you from?
No, I live in Northampton now. Yeah, I lived here since 2006. I lived in Milton Keynes since 2004, and then decided to move to a city that had a bit of, I guess, a heart or so. Too many roundabouts in Milton Keynes. And I moved over to Northampton, and it's been awesome ever since. Yeah.
So that was, when did you come to the UK? 2006?
2004.
2004. Prior to that, do I take it Brooklyn, or are you all around the US, or where are you from?
No, New York my whole life. Moved to Brooklyn Heights area, which is called Dumbo, last 2 years of grad school, and then I ended up working there on some films and stuff. And then finally flew over here. And I guess the best thing that was burnt into my head was just eating lunch every day at Brooklyn Bridge Park. You know, you just sat there and you're between these two huge bridges, and surreal. I guess you could say surreal. It just stuck with me.
Nice. So how long have you? So talk us through the business. Obviously, as I completely effed up in the introduction there, Brooklyn Brownie Co. Have you always been like big into brownies, or is that something that you sort of found lately since you've been in the UK? Where did your sort of love of brownies come from, and sort of setting up the business? How did that come about?
So, the thing is, I've got like a crazy, I guess, life story. It was like when I was a kid, I was allergic to chocolate. I'm still allergic to a ton of things. So I didn't actually eat chocolate until I was around 36 or so.
Wow.
Or 35. So the thing was, I was stuck with white chocolate, man. And it was just like, I know, it's just like chocolate crap. When I finally started to eat chocolate, I was like, oh, this is all right. I still think I have a bit of an intolerance to it because I didn't believe that with my sister. My sister, she used to say she would actually break out, but it wasn't like a proper acne situation. It was this weird rash. But recently I've noticed if I eat way too much chocolate, I start to get a similar rash situation. Where before, when I was a kid, my throat would just close. So it's a lot better, a lot more progress. But, you know, I got to move on with baby steps and all. Throat close, allergies. But no, the thing is, it's cool. And when I was a kid, the thing was this. I used to love brownies. I used to love when my mom or my sister made them. But I used to grab them, you know what I mean? Because they cut them up and I'd put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the fridge. So after they put them in the fridge, I'd make sure they were gone. And I'd like steal some, run up to my bedroom, chew them up, and then like spit them out. But it was just the texture and the chew that was like, I don't know, but it just made my brain like really happy. And I was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. And I never got that ever again until I was like an adult and we started making our own brownies.
Nice.
Wow.
So how long has the company been going? How long have you been selling your delicious treats?
Just about a year now. Me and Leo started trading last year. So yeah, we had our birthday the other day. We got a little video message thing from Carol Baskin. It's quite funny. I made everybody laugh, so it's quite positive. I think the thing is, from years and years of working in the corporate world and digital world, I just wanted to do something that was for us and something I could pass on to my kid. And I took pretty much everything I learned from creating other brands and pushing other brands, like Jaguar Land Rover, Coca-Cola, Castrol, all those type of big, boring brands. And we just threw it all into our little baby brands. And it's been fun. It's been dynamic. I kind of say that we're a speedboat in the field of like ocean liners, and we're just a lot more nimble, and we just have a heck of a lot better time.
What were your previous jobs with those companies, and what type of stuff were you doing?
Production directing for film and animation, so making their corporate boring stuff a lot cooler, disseminating thick bibles of nonsense into cool trainable materials or into their corporate, because everybody stopped doing the whole PowerPoint thing. They wanted to make their little meetings and their presentations as slick as commercials. So my background was film, commercial, and kids TV and stuff. I worked on like In the Night Garden and Teletubbies and all that nonsense.
Wow.
And a few other things like that. So went into the world of going into different agencies and freelancing here and there and everywhere. And then, I got caught up into the world of corporate because the advertising budgets left the commercial world and went into the corporate world.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been kind of cool. 15 years of that, it gets a bit boring.
Yeah. A massive left turn from what you were doing before.
Well, that's not all I've done before. My other part-time job, or the other hat I wear, well, my hat I say, is a mohawk. I'm also the world's only Mr. T Lookalike professional. Ended up on Britain's Got Talent in 2010, toured the UK with my brothers, the Chip and Doubles, for about a year.
What?
Wow.
Ended up becoming a bodyguard from Mr. T because a company in London trained me up just for the publicity stunt. I pretty much excelled in the class because I was just really good at technical stuff, because you're supposed to do 2 PowerPoint presentations. So being an ex-lecturer, I was used to like chatting in front of like classes and everything else. So I went up there and knocked them out the park. And I guess that's what the guys remembered me as, the person who was able to teach them PowerPoint, because the majority of them didn't know the software. So I sat down one evening and taught them all how to use PowerPoint. But yeah, when we all left, everybody was unemployed. I didn't need that. I just did it, for the publicity stunt. We ended up in the sun, blah, blah, blah. But then I got a call a couple of weeks later from the 2 head guys who were like ex-military. And they were like, John, do you want to protect the president? And I was like, yeah. So ended up going to Mayfair and protecting a president. And it was interesting. And then ended up protecting some Saudis. And a really weird world. Uber rich, paranoid. And it was cool. And then I left because I didn't need it. I just wanted to see what it was like.
Wow.
This is crazy.
But, yeah.
I didn't know any of that. Well, I don't know why I wouldn't necessarily know that. But how was the Britain's Got Talent experience then?
Oh, cool, man. It was a roller coaster, a crazy, crazy roller coaster. I'd never not do it. It's interesting when you look back at it and you watch it now as from being a contestant. You're kind of like, okay, this is how they do this, this is how they stage this. But It's cool. You know, I mean, it's fun. It's all part and parcel. If you go there expecting to become a millionaire, that's the worst attitude to have.
Yeah.
Just go there and think, hey, man, we're going to have a good time. And in all honesty, we went there, the 7 of us, and our big thing was, if they start buzzing us, we're going to take off our capes, you know what I mean, and reveal that we're all lookalikes. So we exist, you know what I mean? Tell the world we exist. But it went down a storm, man. And we had the longest applause ever in Britain's Got Talent history up until that point. 7 guys who just couldn't dance and were just goofy. It just really worked well, man. Everybody just dug it. We were just like a living Madame Tussauds. We always brought, I guess, a bit of levity to wherever we were booked. And just the fact that we're just normal dudes. We were never up our own, you know, behinds. That we didn't have that wall of like, oh, we need security. No, the 7 of us would like crash through the security gate and run to Burger King really quickly before we'd go to like get on stage, and people would be like, and we'd be like, yo, can we cut in front of you? And we'd just like hop in there, grab our food, and then run backstage and just eat it on the curb. Where there's other acts who would not even make eye contact with some of the people coming to see them. Where we were just like, yeah, man, you want to go grab a burger? You want some of my fries? We're just normal dudes, and we still are.
Nice. Bringing it back to where we all began, the Brownies. It's been a couple of months since you collabed with the lovely people over at the Chocolate Smiths. How was that? Was that a crazy situation? Because obviously like, those bars did pretty well, and I think yours was definitely one of the more popular ones.
We shouted a lot of records with that one, man. Steffi, I don't think knew what she was getting into when I kind of proposed it, because when I found out the format, the thing was a little bit over a year ago, we were customers. We bought their first one, which was the cookie collab. And at that point we bought it, and we were one of the people who bought 10 of them when everybody was waiting online. And then afterwards I just trolled everybody who didn't get one, but that was under my other personality, which was the Mr. T personality. I never thought I'd be baking or any of this other nonsense. So I was just like, oh yeah, my bar tastes so amazing. Everybody's like, oh, it's not fair, Steffi. You need to put a cap on it. And I was like, and I ended up buying another 5 the next day. I don't know. I just get really competitive when people lose out. But this is my nature. But it was great. I loved those cookie bars. And then that was it. Steffi started following me as Mr. T, and she's like, oh, you're funny. And we just bounced back and forth. And then when I started the Brooklyn Brownie thing, I just sent her a message. And she was like, oh, it's you. What are you doing? Baking brownies, Mr. T. And I was like, I'm just doing it. And then a couple of months after she saw we had a bit of traction, she was like, you ever thought about collabing with us? And I was like, not really, but yeah, I'd love to. I never thought I'd be that serious. But she was like, well, it looks like your numbers are getting there. And then she tried and saw like our Biscoff brownie, the Biggie Scoff, and yeah, she said she loved it and she needed to do something with it. So all kind of rolled out from there. It got a bit ridiculous. I think we sold over 5,000 units in a month. But at that point, I kind of made the proposal when she said that we were going to just do it for a weekend. I was like, well, why just do it for a weekend? What else are you going to do for the rest of the month? And she was like, well, I don't know. And I was like, well, why don't we just do it every weekend of May and go like May Day or something crazy? We're in lockdown and we might as well change the rules, you know what I mean? So she was like, yeah, why not? Let's see what happens, because it could flop or it could go really well. And then it went really, really, really well. And yeah, it changed the game. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's good. You were lucky enough to have one, weren't you, MJ? The collab
I was, yeah, phenomenal. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm not. It looked like it was the. Generally speaking, it looked like most people were saying it was the best one, and I can totally see why. I think it's the thing is they're all unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's definitely my joint favorite. Yeah, that it is one of the best things, one of the best confectionery items I've ever eaten.
That's cool, man.
Crazy.
Really cool.
And that's not just because you're on here, John. He would say that anyway.
No.
He's an honest man.
It was the best when I watched him eat it. He ate it and he sat backwards. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
You can't fake the sit back.
No, man, knock somebody backwards. I was like, whoa, I need to taste that. Because me and Leo, we didn't taste it until Leo's birthday.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was just like, everybody else was like, our neighbors ordered like 3 of them and ate them all. And we were like, we were just producing like, 1,200 bars a week and sending them up north. And we were just like, oh man, we really, really want to taste these. And then, we'd see like Steffi wasn't even eating them. I mean, every time like one kind of broke, they'd split them amongst themselves. But the thing was, it was just that high demand, man. And then finally, she remembered, oh no, it was Leo's birthday. So yeah, she sent him down a nice little message and some bars and stuff. It was really nice. And yeah, to finally taste it, it was like, oh, this is cool. It didn't taste how we expected it, not at all. Because in your brain, you expect something different. But man, it was good. It was definitely one of the best chocolate bars I've ever had.
Yeah. Steffi's good people. We've had her on the show, and we're sort of quite close to her, and worked with her before. She's good people. And those bars are fantastic at bringing brands that you might not be necessarily familiar with to the forefront and clubbing with them, which is the idea of the bar in the first place. And so it's good to see like companies like yours and the Cookie Meal and all the others that have been in between getting involved in that, because I think it's great for smaller businesses to work together. And
the thing is how ethically she works. It's insane because
it's crazy.
Because the thing was, we put out a number and she was like, no, and I was like, in your head you're thinking, because in the corporate world you think, time to go down. And she's like, no, you'll get paid exactly what you sell them for. And I was like, ooh. That's not, in my head I was like, that's not how it works. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I don't want to take anything from you. And she's like, and is that okay? Do you want more? Just tell me exactly what you want. And I was like, well, no, that's more than fair. And it was cool to work with somebody, I guess you could say, is who's almost just like us, you know what I mean? She's a straight shooter. She's willing to help as much as she possibly can, and she's fair, man. And it's just not something that I was used to working in the corporate digital world for this long. But yeah, man, she's an amazing person.
I think it helps on that point about being just a normal person and being lovely and everything. I think it probably helps that you guys are doing something that you obviously have a passion about. Whilst you obviously want your companies to blow up and be big to some degree, you've got into your respective fields because she loves chocolate, you love brownies, you have a passion for the product. You're not necessarily doing it solely for the money. You're doing it because you're passionate about your particular product and indeed other people's. I think that's probably why you see a lot of these companies, yourself included and Steffi, that do tend to be just good, honest, decent people that understand the value of your product. That's why she wants to pay you the price for your brownies, because she understands what they're worth to you, and everything. So good stuff. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. Before we move on to the next thing, one of the things we do with new guests is we like to ask them random questions. I've got a list of 10 random questions. If you wouldn't mind giving me 3 numbers between 1 and 10, I will ask you the question that correlates with that number.
3.
3. Marry, shag, kill. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Marry, shag, kill. Oh, it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yep. Yeah. Which marry, fuck, kill? Which one? Which would you marry?
Right. Marry, fuck, kill.
You just said them all back, right? That's hard as work.
Oh, good. Well, I guess I'd marry. I'll definitely shag breakfast, and maybe marry dinner, and then kill lunch.
Correct.
Not really biggest on lunch. Nah. Lunch is just kind of like that tide you over until the good stuff. Until dinner. That's about it.
Yeah. I think that tends to be the preferred option. Stuart, you got a bit of a smug face on. What's the smug face on?
Right, it's just right. You, as a parent, I find that the meal that when I rarely eat out, it tends to be lunchtime. We'll go and get lunch somewhere. So I associate a treat meal and eating out more often than not with going out for lunch somewhere.
Yeah, but you have like one takeaway a year or something, don't you?
Yeah. I've had several takeaways. Actually, I've upped my takeaway intake over lockdown. Thank you, Michael. I've had takeaways for the last 2 weeks on the bounce. But just
takeaway for the last weekly, at least weekly for the last 10 years.
I like lunch. Instead, like you don't. If you go out for lunch to anywhere and you order the burger, which is let's be honest. If you're honest with yourselves, that's what you want to order. It's more if you order it at dinner, people look at you and they go, "You're scum. You're ordering a burger for dinner."
Where are you eating?
That's a bit weird.
Here he is having a burger at lunchtime, just a normal lad. Whereas at dinner, it's like, oh, he's trash.
Things are so weird in the north. Oh God, I never want to be there.
I'm definitely going to have a burger for dinner. Definitely. Yeah. I guess we're a bit scummy.
Maybe it's just.
No, I hear what you're saying. Though. Lunch are a big one, but nah, it's just not my thing. Could miss it really.
I think I've grown to agree with that view of lunch being the one to kill, but it's weird because I can easily skip breakfast more than I can skip lunch or dinner. But equally, at least breakfast feels like it's a bit more separate to the other two, whereas lunch just feels like a smaller dinner or burger, apparently, because you're not allowed to eat burger any other time of day. Burgers are only between 12 and 2, I'm afraid.
Jesus, that's a bit weird, yeah. But but the thing is, think about it on like a Sunday. If you have like pancakes, you have a huge breakfast. You know what I mean? Have that nice, beautiful breakfast. Yeah. Everybody, not everybody, but there are set times for that. Lunch is usually, I've realized that people want to get a bit fancier and they call it brunch or some nonsense when they want to make lunch fancy. But lunch is just usually kind of like hit or miss.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because breakfast is the most skippable meal. Easily.
Yeah, totally.
But a good breakfast, like you say, a pancake breakfast or a waffle breakfast or a full English or even just a bacon butty. Like a bacon butty's a great thing.
When you get something right, man, and it's breakfast time, you almost like feel you like won the lottery. Like when you're staying at a hotel and you realize the client upgraded you to full breakfast, you're just like, it's like you've won the breakfast, you've won the lottery, man. You know what I mean? You get paid to do your gig and you get breakfast. It's just a beautiful thing. So yeah, it puts you in the mood right.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think lunch is the only possible answer. I would like to kill dinner, but it's just not feasible, is it?
Oof.
Just not feasible. So lunch has to take the bullet.
Defo.
Yeah.
So.
I'm glad we took that one through. I don't know who's safe. Another two numbers, please, John.
7.
7. Do you have, this is probably self-evident, do you have a sweet or a savoury tooth? Which do you prefer, generally speaking?
Oh, savoury, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, buddy.
Burgers for dinner?
I guess, yeah, we could go with some burgers for dinner. Even though it's a bit scummy, apparently. But, man, I love the savoury stuff. I love going around the UK finding really tasty food. Me and Leah, we've done that quite a bit not recently, but since he was a kid, since he was a baby. We just like hop in a car and we drive to either London markets in the morning, like on a Sunday or something, or wherever. People find it weird, but for me, England's around the size of a state, so I'll drive anywhere and munch if it's good. If we engage online with a vendor, the biggest problem we get, or I get, because I'm really picky, is when it's hyped, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get this food, and I turn up there and I take one bite. And it's everything I did not want. So that's the biggest disappointment. But hey, you live and you learn, really.
Do you get led by hype a lot? Do you think, or is it just that it's stuff that's hyped that you would have been into anyway?
It's most of the time things that it looks good. You know what I mean? In your brain, you're like, all those flavors are going to work. All that makes sense. That pull, that this, that whatever. The biggest one I have a pet peeve about is our pizzas, New York pizzas, American pizzas. And there are quite a few places in London that believe in making New York pizza. And I've gone in and bought the pie, because apparently that's what you need to do. spend you $30, and I've cut it up, taken one bite, and they're like, "How's the pizza?" I'm like, "It's trash," and I'll tell them straight because I've taken that trip, I've taken that time out of my life to visit their venue and pay the money and have that slice, and it's nothing like a New York slice. Yeah, it's garbage, but that's life.
The void between the US and the UK on pizza quality is probably the biggest heartache of my life. I love the chains that I like Pizza Hut and Domino's over there. I just think are like insane. And yeah, I mean over here, I've never actually had a good American pizza over here. I've had incredible Italian style ones, but I've never. I mean, I'm trying to think where I've actually had any American style pizza over here. I can't even think of any.
Right. The thing is, it's like I'm always down to budgeting because that was my life, constantly production directing and stuff. So it's down to value for money. In the UK, for all the pizzas and all that stuff, the only place you can go to really is Costco. And Costco in America, you don't eat their pizza because it's trash. So that's the sad thing. It's kind of like, I'm stuck eating Costco pizza over here. The best pizza that I've had recently that was close to a New York pizza was when I went to Croatia about 2 years ago. And we were just walking in, just down the promenade or whatever. And my partner was like, "Oh, let's go there. Let's go to this bar thing." So we went to the bar, sat down. She ordered some weird pizza. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll order the margarita." And they brought this pizza, and like as it was coming, I could smell it, and I was like, "It has this smell, man," and it just smelled so New York. And they put this thing down in front of me, and I was like, it felt like I was like transported back into the States. I was like, "Babe, this is like a New York pizza." And I started like welling up a bit, and then like,
oh man.
So then I sliced it, took a bite of this thing, and this is the first time I think she ever saw me cry. But like tear, I was just like, "Oh my god, all these years, and it's here in Croatia." So I ate the pizza. And then we had to drive back to our B&B, which was like 15 minutes away. And I was like, "All right, we're staying here for like 4 days, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was trying to figure out all the different ways that we could get back into town, just to get another pie. We ended up going back, and I had another one, and it was just brilliant. I hated leaving that area, going down to Zabrubnik, whatever. But oh my god, that's been the best pizza ever, man.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oof, definitely go to that pizza place, man, if you ever go to Croatia.
Yeah, if I do go to Croatia, I'll let you know. Find out where it was.
That's definitely that. And the other thing, another good thing. I mean, it's weird. Whenever we go to another place, we went to Iceland and we had chicken wings. We went to a Brewdog because we ended up there on a Wednesday, and Wednesday is Wing Wednesday for Brewdog. So we ended up like going into there. Usually, I'm like, not really into pub type things. Hey, tell you, bro. So we went in there. And first time really in a Brewdog in Iceland. Weird. And yeah, man, we tore up those wings. It was ridiculous. And it was the best thing ever because food in Iceland is so pricey. It's stupidly pricey. So the fact that we kept eating until I thought I was going to barf for like $16, it was beautiful. Wow. Beautiful. Where we ended up, we were mad out of pocket for the rest of the trip, man. For like 2 meals. It was like $150 for like no, it wasn't even a 3-course meal. I think we had like a burger type thing and a dessert, and that was like a semi-fancy place, a little bit better than a TGI's.
Jeez. So, yeah. Scandinavia in general, silly money, but I think Iceland's generally the worst, isn't it? Like I haven't been to Iceland. I've been pretty much everywhere else, and it is. I mean, like the first I went to Norway. 12, 13 years ago, and like a tenner for a beer, you're like a tenner for a Heineken. You're like, oh man, and I dread to think what it's like now.
Wow.
But I want to go. I have to go to Iceland. I've got to tick all the Scandinavian countries off, but save up. Maybe all the money that I should have spent going to Florida this summer that's been cancelled, I can spend for a weekend in Iceland.
It was definitely worth it, man. It was so memorable. Definitely memorable. But yeah, going to food places, that's my biggest thing, and getting savory stuff. So yeah, not the biggest sweet tooth person.
Lovely. Last number, please. Had 3 and 7.
So number 9.
Would you rather eat in a restaurant on your own or at a table of annoying strangers?
Table on my own. I've done it so many times. Do it all the time.
Yeah.
Again.
And the thing is, it's the worst thing to do, and we get paid to do it as lookalikes, and they try to force us to do it, is to sit at the table during the mealtime with people we don't know. And we're just like, you know what? Even if Mr. T was here, the person just wants their photo with that person, and then for Mr. T to go away, because now it's awkward. You know what I mean? Really, really awkward. I mean, and I'm trying to explain this to so many clients. They think they've got the best idea ever. No, it's so cool. Everybody's going to want you at this table. No, because most people are socially awkward, and they're just going to chat to Janet, and then Janet's going to chat to Dave, and you're just going to be sitting there like a big dickhead just in the middle with your hair, you're sweating, and you're just like, I know none of these people. I just want the next course to come. You're just looking up every once in a while at the stage, and it's the worst situation. So whenever a client starts saying that, I always make sure I get paid up front. And then when I get there, I'm just like, yeah, it ain't happening, guys. It's just the worst idea ever. It's a fear, man, for all of us. The only person it kind of works for is Gordon Ramsay, Lookalike, my friend Martin, because he's Ramsay. He can sit there the whole time, just this, that, and he loves talking about food anyway. Where I don't know, the rest of us, we're just like, we get paid for certain stints of lookalikeage. We're not gonna do the entire thing, man. And small talk is the same part of the deal.
So, do you still do that these days?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I was one of the first people first lookalikes to start doing video messages. So when this whole pandemic thing started off, and everybody's like, oh, how are we going to do video messages? Well, I was already ahead of the curve. So people were just asking for green screen shoots and blah, blah, blah. Mr. T sent incentive messages to their team that were just all fired, and all these awkward situations. But then the thing is, the Brownies took over, and I couldn't do it, man. Just to get dressed, ST, it took about half an hour and stuff. And I just couldn't, man. With the volume that we were shifting, it just did not work. And my other lookalike friends, they were just like, really, mate? And I was just like, come over and see how it's working. And when they did, they're like, oh my god, yeah, okay. And the volume and the overall turnover, it just wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it. No.
That must be a bizarre conversation. Come and do some lookalike gigs. No, I've got to cook some brownies.
Yeah, exactly. I just like the worst one is recently that they're trying to be like, oh yeah, how much would you charge to come on a Zoom call? It's almost like that table situation. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm here for you guys to like have a chat and an interview, but it's just like they want me just to sit there, and it's just like, oh look, we've got Mr. T. It's just like, hey, quit your jibber jabber, fool. And then it's just like they want to be like, oh, the 402 reports are so and so, and then like you get a little chat message like, say something, and I'm like, oh, he's talking that crazy nonsense again, Murdoch. I'm just like, number one, it's just like Mr. T wasn't the most eloquent of individuals. I mean, yeah, he did have his one. He's what's the one-line king, man. So I can only say so much, but I don't know. It's just strange world.
Good stuff. Right, let's move on to some regular content. Quivia. Yes, Quivia time to play Quivia. Yes, Quivia time to play some Quivia. It's like a cross between some trivia and a quiz and a such extent of profit. Two of those two aforementioned words. Quivia. Yes, Quivia time to play some Quivia. Quivia. Yes, Quivia time to play some Quivia. If you thought I phoned in the introductions, wait until we get into Quivia. Oh God, couldn't think of anything useful or interesting to do.
How many letters are there in the word brownies?
Oh, I tell you what, better than what we've already got. This week's Quivia, I've entitled "Going Browntown." And
God, that means something different for I'm from.
Well, we make a brownie called the Hershey Highway, so I was trying to put some kind of innuendo in all of our flavors, man. After a while, Leo's like, Dad, you just got to stop, man.
You mentioned Leo. How involved is he in the business?
He is a 50% owner. So it's his business. So, yeah.
Nice. Good man. Going Browntown. So what I've done is I couldn't really find enough. So I tried doing some research on brownies, and I found websites that are like 30 amazing facts that you'll find on brownies, and you'd find out that actually like 5 of the facts would be the same thing. It'd be like, fact number 1, there are only 5 ingredients in brownies. Fact number 2, these are, and it's literally the same. It's literally just 30 is 5 or 6 things. Anyway, none of them were particularly interesting. So what I've done instead is I've got 5 famous individuals with the surname Brown.
Here we go.
And I've got 4 word clues for each of them, and I'm going to rattle off these one word at a time, and depending on how many words are left will determine how many points you get. Okay.
Are these, can I say, are these real people, or are we going to have fictional characters as well?
Combination. Some real, some fictional.
Right.
Okay.
As with some of our other games, when it's like cocktails and things like that, it will be a round robin. So first word will go to one person. If you don't get it, you can pass. But equally, if you guess incorrectly, you are out of the question. So I will start with Stuart, since he's gagging for this. The first one. First word, duh.
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 As
Duh.
in,
Can you
duh.
spell it, please?
Like duh, like
Duh.
DH.
Duh, or is it da? Like da.
Ah, duh.
Da.
As in, right.
Da.
Yeah.
Da. Oh, da. In the house.
Where's this guy?
I'll pass it on.
Okay, MJ. Second word, Vinci.
Da Vinci.
Oh,
Da Vinci.
God.
Brown. Da Vinci. So it's obviously. Oh. So Da Vinci. Oh, wow. The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. I
There
can't
you go.
believe I got one. I honestly, I won't get any more.
That was pretty good.
I was thinking da, as in like
Yeah.
the legit
Duh.
boss.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
So next to you, John, for the next one, we'll give you the first word, which is best.
Best.
If you're not sure, you can pass, but
Oh, hang on. I'm gonna write.
if you guess, you're out of the rest.
Is
of
this
question.
for people, companies, and other things? Or?
No, it's just people, although they can be fictional or real.
I'm gonna have to pass that one.
Okay, Stuart.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, because I reckon I can get it from one word. So I've just written it in there, and I'll hold this here so you know I can't cheat.
Okay.
Cool.
In your Lego Ninjago notebook.
Cool.
Yeah, well, Stuart, you're the nerd who recognised it from no branding on there, just the back of a minifigure, and you got it. So you're a bigger nerd as me.
Stuart, the second word is friend.
Big up. So just to clarify, I've written down the clues and the one.
Cool. You're my hero, I guess.
Yeah, it is impressive.
Can I ask a question?
No, don't know.
Has this person been in the news recently due to a casting change in light of recent global cultural paradigm shifts?
Oh, I hate you.
Should I just say, is it Cleveland Brown?
No.
Oh!
So, Nate, is it best friend Snoopy, Charlie Brown?
Well,
It is.
Oh no!
I thought you said
Charlie Brown.
best friend Peter Griffin, Cleveland Brown.
Best friend of Snoopy, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, but
Oh.
Although I will say, like, Charlie Brown was the only person I could think of at the start of all this. So.
yeah, me too. In my head, I was just thinking Charlie Brown or Darren Brown.
Next one.
Mind.
You're up, John, and it's a cracker. The first word of question 3 is the. So 4 points in it if you can guess it from the.
Wow.
Yeah, skip that one.
Yeah. Stuart.
Nathan.
Godfather.
Oh my God! I can't believe it. I know this one as well. This is insane. This is the best. Shall I write it down as well?
You can do, but I think Stuart's
feeling good about this one. I knew that.
Godfather.
So good. I got this. It's James Brown, Nathan.
It is James Brown. Well done.
That's
3.
Sci-fi. I'd written down. Oh, I don't know what genre he is, but I put of music.
Jeez,
The Godfather of Soul.
That's the soul. Yeah.
Soul, of course. Soul. All the souls.
MJ. 88.
Red balloons.
I can't speak German.
Is that German? A weird German?
99 Monstick Balloon.
99 Ballon.
Say again, sorry?
99 Luftballon.
99 Stick Leuchtballon.
Yeah, stop.
Stop.
I've been saying for a while we need to break into the German market with this podcast. So thanks, guys.
Keep going with it.
88. 88 Brown. So it could be the number of...
That's an incorrect answer. His name is not 88 Brown. We'll move on.
No, I don't know.
Okay. John, 88 miles.
88 miles. 88 miles. No clue, man. 88 miles.
I'm mildly stunned by this.
88 miles.
I genuinely thought someone would get it from the first bit, which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like
Tarantino, the Crazy 88. That's
Oh, you could be onto something there.
What, Foxy Brown?
Quentin Tarantino.
Is Foxy Brown your guess?
Nah. I'll skip it. What? 88 miles. Who's going next?
Oh, okay. Stuart. Per.
88 miles per hour.
Might not be an hour. It might not be an hour.
I'm fuming.
Imagine how Chris Clement is.
Oh no! Because my friend is him.
Oh, great Scott!
No.
It's Dr. Emmett Brown.
Oh, I was just talking to him on the phone.
Oh no!
It's Dr. Emmett Brown. Heavy. Final one for MJ. And it's worth noting at this stage, this could win you. Psychological.
Oh my God! Thanks, John. Darren Brown. I wouldn't have got it.
Oh man,
we had a gig with him. Man. He's crazy.
The real.
I've always
Darren
assumed.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet Darren Brown.
He gets paid a fortune.
Yeah.
I'm desperate to see one of his shows. I think he's fantastic. Anyway, well done. MJ wins that one with some points. Well done, MJ. You've actually been 2020 it's true. 2020 is a bit of a fucked up year because you've won quite a lot of these Quivias actually.
I think it's probably
your most successful year. I think
it must be it must be the it must be the only year I've won any, right? I don't really remember feeling this incredible feeling of crushing Stuart's will and spirit as often as this. Stuart, how do you feel?
Yeah.
Because you obviously you love winning Quivia, and I think you put quite a lot of. You sort of wear your heart on your sleeve with Quivia, don't you? Because you call yourself the brain of Quivia, and typically you win.
Not wearing any sleeves. I've got a vest on.
Shit.
Nate here. If you're like me and have a dangerous amount of disposable income that you can't be trusted with, why not head on over to patreon.com and give some of it to your favourite food review channel and podcast provider. And while you're there, why not give us some money? Way! Nah, but seriously, patreon.com/Food Review UK. Help us get Gossy some new glasses or something. He looks ridiculous.
Lovely. I imagine it tastes beautiful. And speaking of things that taste beautiful, why don't we talk about some brownies?
Oh,
Let's get into the sugary high of this episode. Brownies. I have to say, I am coming into the brownies game a little bit late. For quite some time, I've been quite disrespectful to these little sweet treats and not particularly a fan. However, I think that I'm starting to like them. So I'm going to need some guidance from my three learned friends on this podcast as to why I should give them more of an opportunity. So tell me, what's so good about brownies? Anyone?
Gotta be John first. Sure.
I was going to say, let's go with John first, since he's the Brooklyn Brownie Co man.
I guess to us, you gotta get the right brownie, and that's why we created Brooklyn Brownie. Fanatical about texture, taste, chew. And the thing is, it's kind of like we started to stock cafes and stuff, and some of the cafes were like old school cafes, and they're like, oh, your funny shaped brownies, which were rectangular, when they sit next to a traditional brownie, which is flat and square. People don't really know what to do with it. And I'm like, well, yeah. But you buy it and then you eat it. But the thing is, once people buy it, all of our followers, they get the format and they buy it. And people who just come across, they go, oh, yeah, that's cool. Buy it. Box comes to their house, they eat it. And they get it. And that's when they get it. And the reason why it's that shape is because as a kid, when I used to run away and eat the brownies upstairs in my room and then spit them out, it was the chew that I was looking for. It was that texture, that corner piece, that nonstop corner piece. So in my head was, how do we get a forever corner piece? And it was the shape that we created there. The brownies that we have in the UK, some of them, to me, are just a bit too much on the line of being a piece of fudge, and sometimes like cake, but to me, it's more the fudge line. And when I bite into it, I'm like, am I eating a piece of fudge, like a block of chocolate butter, or what? So that's why we created Brooklyn Brownie, and it's. I haven't really found another brownie kind of like it, you know what I mean? So I guess, and people have said that, so I guess we're doing something right. They're fun. Brownies can be really tasty, but when you go down the other route of making this block of butter that's chocolate based, it's not nice to eat a ton of them. I mean, with our brownies, we do a lot of constant market research. We do things that other brownie companies don't do, because you follow the format of what I've been doing for other industries. And it's kind of like when we have a barbecue, what am I doing? I'm doing market research. When I first brought out the brownies and started baking the basic bitches, what did I do with them? I brought them into the studios as incentive treats for the workers, so they wouldn't go to lunch or they wouldn't leave early on a Friday. They would be like, oh my God, John, you're so amazing. I'm thinking, well, I'm going to get my renders early. I'm going to get this early. You guys are going to do almost anything I say. And while I did that, I'd bring in the cooked brownies, not knowing that I was going to do anything with it later on. And I'd bring in other snacks from like wherever. And it was always interesting to see how the brownies went down fastest, always the fastest. So yeah, there's definitely something in brownies. Just got to be cooked right. And I think MJ was chatting to me before about it, man. And he hit every single nail on the head, because when he was telling me about texture, bite, taste, and everything, he was right. It was something that I was fanatical about, because if you don't get it right, it sucks.
I've got to stop you, John. I know you're a guest, and we have to give you a little bit of respect. But there's a thing you need to know, and that is we do not pay MJ any compliments on this podcast. He may be the founder of Food Review UK. He may be the face of the channel and everything. But unfortunately, Stuart, we don't do that, do we? That's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for. So basically what I'm saying is that will all be edited out.
I totally agree. So I do love all kinds of brownies. Those fudgy ones that you talk about, the thing with them is whilst I still like them, it's like you say, you can't like session them or anything. And honestly, like after I've had, if I have like a big like fudgy one, 100% I'll feel sick. They're just, oh man, they are dense. And we got a question coming up in social media, which I'm gonna have to dissect and address, but we'll get to that. But yeah, it's the ones that you make, which they're more like solid and chewy. It's the chew. Whereas other types of brownies that you tend to get either from people that make them or bakers or whatever, they can often be, like you say, cakey. They can often be just too over the top with the fudginess and the wetness. Oftentimes they're quite dry as well and sort of crumbly, and that's not good. You want a chewy, like I said, like I told you in that thing, that like this almost the smooth edge.
Yeah.
And they're a very unique, delicious product.
You gotta get them right. Yeah. Definitely.
More stuff to edit out. Stuart, where do you stand on brownies? Because I've known MJ obviously because he certainly recently because of the John's business and everything. I've obviously known how much he likes them, but I guess it's not a conversation you and I had. Like that's the sort of conversation we would have. Yeah. Do you like brownies? Are you?
Yeah, I mean, I like brownies, and but I'm a bit like you in that I've never seen the hype, and it's probably because I haven't had too many exceptional brownies. I've had, some of the best the best brownies I've ever had have probably been homemade brownies. I had some recently from. I don't want to like shit on other producers, but I had some recently from a fairly high profile brownie producer, the girl that did The Apprentice. I got a Groupon voucher for a box of her brownies, and they were nice. But genuinely, I've had better homemade brownies. I had some brownies from a farmer's market fairly recently. They were nice, but I've had better homemade brownies. I had some great brownies we had an afternoon tea from a local place to me, and that had brownies in it, and they were spot on. But I think I've just never had brownies that have just really, really set me on fire. I must admit, like I've seen some pictures of your brownies before, John. Like, and my wife saw them on a Food Review UK post, and she was like, "They look just absolutely filthy, like filthy in the best possible way." And I kind of zoned out of what MJ was saying about brownies before, because I've been on your website for the last 10 minutes or so, and I think that like just the toppings, the flavors, the things that you're doing, they're hype. They look like hype brownies. That's what they look like to me. The kind of things that they're, and you see a lot of these hype products on like Instagram and what have you. But I'm gonna have to try some of your brownies because they are. I'm looking at the Smorgasm brownie, and it's making me feel uncomfortable.
Smorgasmic.
Yeah, Smorgasm. A lot of people dig it, man. A lot of people dig it.
There's the one brownie that I've had recently in the UK that I thought was a really, really good brownie was the Little Bakery brownie. Like,
Little. Oh, right. Yeah.
I had the Little brownie, and it was really nice.
I've had that one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I bumped into a friend, and he was a manager at a Little, me and Leah, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna bring some brownies back," because he found out that we were making brownies, and he's like, "Oh, they left, but they come back every once in a while." I was like, "Okay, cool." So he messaged me when they had them back in. So we went in, bought them, thinking these are gonna be amazing, because he kept saying how amazing these were, and I trusted my friend until I tasted them, and it just wasn't right. It looked right. It looked like it should be right. And oh my God! The worst one was McDonald's. Now I was standing in line buying my stuff. I was like, meh. And I looked over and I was like, oh no, it's our brownie, because it was the shape and everything of a Brooklyn Brownie, the basic bitch. And I was like, this is gonna be weird. So I was like, yeah, I'll take 2 of those. And I bought it and, ate the rest of my food and then had that. And yeah, I was perfectly fine. There's nothing to fear there. So it was like, if you walked into the back of McDonald's, right? And you went like this and tasted the air, that's what it was. That's exactly what that brownie tasted of.
Wow.
And I made Leo eat the whole thing. So yeah, it was like you wanted it as well. But yeah, it was a punishment brownie. That thing was terrible. If somebody was going to get it right, especially the fact that they got the shape and everything, I thought they cracked it. I thought, oh my goodness. But man, no, far from it.
On that point about the shape, as someone who's not necessarily into brownies, I obviously wouldn't necessarily know what is and isn't available out there. Is the brownies, is that shape that you use a fairly unique thing to you? Or is that sort of quite common now? Because we saw with Rich with his cookie meal, he came along and he sort of created these deep dish cookies, and now they're everywhere.
Yeah, he did.
And I was just wondering, with like your brownies, with the shape of them, the way you make them, is that unique?
It's unique to us because the thing is, I'm not a baker. And once again, it's down to production pipeline. I took my digital pipeline head and put it into the bakery world. I had no clue what we were really doing. And it was constantly, how do we keep things constant, cost effective, and keeping the volume up while making sure that the taste and chew is always there. The biggest thing was, I was running back to being the 5-year-old kid running up to my bedroom and chewing on the brownies and loving the corner piece. So we needed the corner piece throughout. The thing is, though, and it's the funny thing, I've had people message us and go, oh, where do we get that from? How do we? And I send them the links because I know how difficult it is to work with. It is a bloody nightmare if you don't have a clue on what you're doing. So, knock yourself out.
When you say that, do you mean like the molds or?
Yeah, the molds. Absolute nightmare, especially with working with a product like brownies, because it's nothing like the classic way that you'd work with a normal brownie.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long were you like perfecting the recipe then?
We baked over 150 bakes to get it right.
Wow.
Then again, I'm fanatical about it. If it ain't right, it ain't coming out.
Yeah.
We'd never put our name to it. Yeah, it's just me and Leo. We just stuck with it, man. That was it.
In terms of your business and the products that you sell, what's your personal favorite, and also what's the best seller?
My personal favorite is the basic bitch. It always will be. Those are my incentive treats for staff and everything else. And I love that one because it's a classic. In my head, it's a classic brownie. It's the brownie that I wanted when I was a kid but couldn't eat. And it's the foundation of every Brooklyn brownie, with all the fancy, eye-catching stuff. You know what I mean? The thing is, all the stuff on top of it was just to get people's attention. And I'm as transparent as that. And this is how I chat on my story. It's kind of like, you guys get it. I'm just trying to catch your attention.
Yeah.
But I'm that confident about that basic bitch that I could throw anything on it, which we did for April Fool's. Stuffed it full of baked beans and put a Frank's icing like sauce on top. And I ate it. I ate the whole thing. I thought this is going to be disgusting. Bit into it, watched Leo go, ugh. And I was like, I expected to spit it out, but I kept chewing. And I was like, the reason why is because the basic bitch works so well with almost everything that it just worked, man.
I haven't actually tried the basic bitch yet. Obviously, I've had it with all the stuff on, but it's actually the flavour that I'm most looking forward to trying.
Mm-hmm. You'd love it.
Weirdly.
I mean, you could cram through. I mean, an entire box of those with like a nice cold glass of milk, a little bit of ice in that thing, man. You just watch a movie, put on Netflix, and just slam them down.
Oh man,
fantastic. And the best thing is, they say we're the only ones that know what they taste like hot out the oven. Every once in a while, a customer comes to the door and we're just pulling out some. So I quickly like wrap one up and I'm like, welcome to the family. And they're like, what is this? When they're picking up their box, I'm like, you're one of the few people in the world who have ever had one of these out of the oven. And then they're like, oh, as soon as they get back in the car, you see them like Instagramming the thing. And then they send a message to like, what was that? And I'm like, yeah, you better come back when it's bacon time. That's what that was. But yeah, fantastic.
Social media, what does it mean to ya? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, hey, like, follow, retweet, make up, hey. Social media, what does it mean to ya? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, hey, like, follow, retweet, make up, hey.
You can find Food Review UK on Twitter at Food Review UK, Facebook also at Food Review UK, and on Instagram at FRUK. Check it out.
So moving on from that slightly, so obviously you're obviously a big fan of just the basic brownie. So this is probably more to MJ and maybe Stuart. What? Obviously answer yourself as well, John. But what is your favourites in terms of like any other toppings or fillings, or how does that work with a brownie? Because it does seem like, unlike other, say, cake products, it feels like a brownie should be a brownie on its own, and the rest of it shouldn't have toppings or fillings. But obviously we're starting to see that more and more, like you say, with the hype brownies and things like that. So what does work? What do you think works with a brownie? Anyone?
White chocolate chunks. They drive me fucking wild. Because brownies tend to be, well, brownies are like quite rich and deep in chocolate flavour. And when you get white chocolate chunks, not only is it the added texture in there, especially if it's a chunk, it's like a snap inside it, but then the sweetness as well. Yeah, that's the one.
And this is why you like the banana one, because I had white.
Yeah. So I was also going to say I wouldn't have necessarily thought the banana. I wouldn't have necessarily thought banana and brownie, yeah. But the what was it called, Bananarama? It had like banana cake on and banana flavored toffee caramel.
Yeah. Banana infused caramel in the core. Banana chipped, dehydrated banana chips all over the top, a little bit of white chocolate chips on the top as well, ribbons of white chocolate over the entire banana cake. That's been put on top, cubed and put on top. And yeah, man, it's just fun. When you bite into that thing, it's like, it's just a gift that keeps giving, because you have that nice soft cake and it's all banana, and then you get the infused caramel inside, and then it all goos out, and it's just this mouthful of happiness.
What about you, Stuart? You obviously said that you're still.
He's still looking at the website.
I'm looking at a brownie on the website now, and
Which one?
I'm going to say things. I'm looking at a brownie, and Michael's just going to go, "This is the Stuart brownie. It's got pretzels, Michael. It's got Reese's peanut butter cups. It's got M&Ms. It's got potato chips. It's got fudge cubes. It's got Oreo. It's got chocolate covered pretzels. And then to top it all off, it's the Staten Island dump. So the Wu-Tang Stan. It's the Staten Island dump brownie. That is basically the Stuart. It's the Stuart brownie. Any confection that's a combination of pretzels, peanut butter, and a salty element. That's me.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah, Phil.
I'm allergic to that one, so yeah.
Oh,
I'm allergic to apple stuff.
I would have always been reticent about the crisp in a brownie, and then Rich used to do the monster cookie with the potato I was going to call them potato chips then, and then I remembered I'm English with the crisps in the cookie, and it's just a win. It's all about texture. It's about imparting salt and texture.
Yes.
The two things that, as a discerning older gentleman, I need in my confection: salt and texture.
But that's the thing. But with any food like that, it's a funny one, because most people don't fully understand the taste and the textures. It's all mixed in there to get you to eat more and to eat quicker. and to enjoy it better. The salt's sweet, and it just bounces back and forth because you don't get overwhelmed with too much sweet. The salt kicks that out, and you just want more after you eat the salt. Then you have the sweet. It's fantastic the way it really works, man. So when I saw that, I was like, well, people dig peanut butter. I'm allergic to it. But it seems like a lot of people like peanut butter, and I love pretzels. Pretzels are fantastic. Potato chips are ridiculous. So let me slam that all in a brownie and feed it to Leo and see what happens. And he loved it. He was like, "Yeah, Dad, this will work." And then when we had our next barbecue, fed it to some people, and they liked it. We sold it.
Yeah, it looks insane. Do you know what I'd love to see on a brownie? I'd love to see a brownie with Snyder's jalapeno pretzels in it. Because I do like the chili chocolate vibe as well. I do like the spicy and the sweet. Michael's pulling a face. Why are you pulling a face, Michael?
Little bit. Well, A, little bit hard. B,
yeah.
Well,
crunchy.
I mean, I don't like them because of the. I just don't. I'm not a massive jalapeno guy. I don't necessarily have anything. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I do like them, and I think I'd be concerned with the texture, that you're just biting into a brownie and suddenly you crack your tooth on something that's in. At least when you're having the pretzels, you understand what tensile strength
is there.
Into the teeth. Yeah. Whereas just going in. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Like you have chosen actually the hardest food that is in existence there.
That and jawbreakers sprinkled on top.
Yeah, sprinkled would be. Crushed up would be alright.
Yeah.
I mean, there have to be massive chunks of it. Like, I'm not.
Just buy both. Just buy the basic bits. Just buy the Snyders and just ram them in at the same time.
That's it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually how we get the kid flavor combos. You have the basic, and then we just go, oh, let's have, what do we have here? Some Jamaican ginger cake. Oh, let's try this and that. And then we go, oh, that works. This works, and take it from there.
Have you got any sort of flavors on the horizon that you can talk about?
Yeah. We have quite a few. We've got the One Love, which is going to be like the Bob Marley one with Jamaican ginger cake and a caramel core. That's going to be quite tasty. Ribbons of white chocolate on top. We're thinking how we're going to do the core with the caramel, because before we did the banana infused, I don't know. We might try to figure out if we do a little bit of rum infusion or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be one of those ones where it's like, you guys like rum and raisin ice cream? You guys kind of like that? It's going to be kind of like that. You get a little bit of a warming sensation, but you're going to get such a fantastic brownie. It's going to make you smile, so that's why it's going to be the One Love brownie. And then you have the golden, golden caramel crunch, which instead of the Oreos, the standard black and white, it's going to be the golden Oreos. And inside you're going to have some, once again, caramel. And yeah, it's going to be ribbons of dark chocolate on top of it. Not dark, but milk chocolate on top of it. And yeah, it should be interesting. We have some people who absolutely hate golden Oreos. And then other people keep messaging us to try the absolute arraignment of Oreos, the birthday cake to this, to that. I'm like, ugh, man. I'll just stick with the golden Oreos, see how that goes down. And it should go down well, because we don't really have a nice, I guess, white brownie at the moment. You know what I mean? We did do the Twix brownie for a while with the fudge chunks and everything else, and the white chocolate Twix, and people loved that. They went insane for it. And we bring that back every once in a while. But yeah, those are the two nice next ones for next month. The cinnamon bun went down really well. People seem to like that.
That was insane as well. That is absolutely ridiculous. So it's like a cinnamon bun and vanilla frosting, and then Frosties on top.
Yeah.
Is that still available out of interest?
Yeah, for you, it's still available. I mean, the thing is, yeah, we have to, because so many people kept ordering it, and we had to throttle it a bit. With the remix, yeah, we can do that, but when we have another bakery good, it's just really painful when people want to buy an entire box of it. So we couldn't offer that. So we only could give that in the 2 limited edition box, where you get the mix and match upgraded to 2 limited editions, and then you could choose to have 2 of those. But otherwise, we have people going, oh yeah, I want 2 boxes of 16. It's just like, no, mate, you're gonna rinse us, and nobody else is gonna give it a try it.
I actually think that's an absolutely brilliant way to do it.
Yeah, you
stops people buying 10 on the Saturday and then 5 on the Sunday.
Yeah, I had to think about myself. Absolute dick, basically.
Lovely. You obviously mentioned white chocolate brownies there, which sort of nicely transitions onto the next point I was going to make. Blondies. What's the feeling on blondies? Because they're obviously sort of maybe not up and coming, but they've obviously had a bit of a moment recently. How do you feel about blondies versus brownies?
Well, the thing is, it's kind of like the issue we had with brownies was the texture, so we created our own. They haven't cracked blondies, you know what I mean? So we would have to put in the time and effort to create our own blondie. For us, it's just not worth it, you know what I mean? We love what we do, and we love the Brooklyn Brownie. But I haven't really tasted a blondie I'm super happy with. I've always gone, yes, I want that, because I've been stuck with white chocolate most of my life. You know what I mean? So I've eaten them. I've eaten quite a few of them, but I've never, even in the States, I've never really been even super happy with any of them. They just lacked something.
I sort of agree. I think I like I said, I've never really been huge on brownies, but I think I sort of started. I had one or two blondies which were fine, and I liked them, and I probably liked them more than most brownies that I'd had. So I came into the brownie world from the blondie side, so to speak. But I do feel there is something a little bit lacking about them. They just don't have any real like kapow about them. They're serviceable, they're fine, they're nice, but there doesn't seem to be anything there that's amazing. And anything, when I have had it, it tends to be the fillings or something in it that I've liked more. Like, so if someone's chugged a load of Biscoff in it, I like the Biscoff. It's not necessarily that I like the brownie per se. MJ Stewart, same.
I think the only thing that only reason I can think of for blondies is that there are a couple of flavors that I would enjoy in that format that I don't think would work as well with darker chocolate, milk chocolate, or dark chocolate. So raspberries, I think would work really well in a good blondie, and Caramac.
I was going to talk about that, but we did a Eat and Mess brownie, which people really loved, which was Eat That Mess, and it was awesome. It was pretty much like a mouthful of Eat and Mess with each bite. Had the raspberry sauce on it and everything else. Had little raspberry heart gummies, which were cool texture as well, because they just weren't just gummy. Because you expect when you have a gummy sweet, it'll either get hard or whatever else. But we found this really amazing natural puree gummy hearts that no matter what, they wouldn't get hard. So it was just really nice, soft puree as
We've
you
all been there.
Yeah, need a bit of Viagra. But no, it was fantastic. And then they had meringue and all that stuff. It just really worked well with each bite. But the Caramac one, we still need to figure out. I've tried Caramac here. I'm not a big fan.
So it doesn't. I can't imagine that would add much to a milk chocolate. You know, I feel like the chocolate would probably just overpower it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I would say raspberry works fairly well with milk chocolate. I'm not saying it's necessarily the ideal.
Yeah, it's just a completely different beast. It's like a Black Forest instead of white and raspberry.
A white forest, or
in that circumstance, I think I'd rather have the cherry than the raspberry with the milk chocolate of a dark chocolate. Raspberry's got that shine. It's just a lighter thing, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not here to advocate for blondies or anything. I think
you are.
I think generally speaking, they're at the dead end of the baked goods spectrum. But
no, I get what you're saying, Stuart, because it's like if I get a raspberry coulis or a raspberry sauce, I love to drizzle that over like a New York cheesecake. Now that's nice and sharp, and it's just beautiful. With each mouthful, you can eat that. It helps you digest that entire slice of cheesecake. Sometimes that gets a bit much, but with that nice sharp raspberry, perfect.
Cutting through,
You've convinced me, Stuart. I'll try and find a blondie company so we can get them on the podcast. You're such a fan of them. If you want to talk to a blondie fan,
do you reckon there is literally a dedicated blondie company?
Of course there is. That's
hipster baking at its finest, that isn't it?
So I like to think that I love blondies, and I have had a few good ones. But I think the main problem with normal blondies is that I don't know, it's going to sound stupid, but the flavour of the science is too strong. So like you can taste like the eggs and the flour and the sweetness and all that, and they're never like you never have like a chewy Milky Bar one or something, and also you never get that chewy texture either. That being said, have had good ones, and probably the best one I've had that I remember at the very least was, I think it was it the third collaboration bar was, I think that was with Cakes Contour, and that had a cherry Bakewell blondie in, and that was insane. And so, but again, I've probably had more flavored blondies than I have normal blondies. So I've had cherry Bakewell blondies, I've had raspberry blondies, I've had Biscoff blondies up the wazoo. But yeah, I haven't had that many. I'm talking like an aficionado. I've probably had under 10. Yeah, like the idea of them more than I tend to like them.
Yeah.
But I can't even imagine like a Brooklyn Brownie style chewy one. That I hadn't even thought of that before. But
Yeah. Now that if we can, but I just don't. We don't have the time to put in to make these things.
Yeah.
Because we already have started. We started and instantly started running. That was the thing. We couldn't pause and make all the dietary people constantly messaging us. How do you do this? Do you do egg free? Do you do whatever? I just kind of explained to them. I've got a copy and paste thing now that. Dude, like I can't eat half of them. You know what I mean? And for years I couldn't even eat chocolate. So. Sorry that you're whatever intolerant, but go find those brownies elsewhere.
Go eat an apple.
That's about it. It really is. But yeah, man, I would love. Oh man, because that's the thing. When I was a kid, and my mom would always constantly try to feed me these blondies. I was just like, in my head, when I first found out there was a version of what she made, but it's blonde, white chocolate. I was like, oh my god, yeah. And I'd get this mouthful of disappointment, and I'm like, all right, back up to sneaking into the bedroom and chewing up brownies and spitting them out.
It sounds like what MJ said there, the fact that the most of the ones that he's had are flavoured. It sounds like it's just a blank canvas at the end of the day. It's not necessarily that whereas a brownie certainly seems to be something that you can enjoy without necessarily adding anything to it. But then if you do add to it, then it might enhance it or it might change it, whatever. Whereas it sounds very much like a blondie is not particularly worthwhile you conquering on its own, because it doesn't sound like many people are particularly stunned by it. Cool. Last thing I wanted to touch on before we move on to social medias, there's more than one. Are brownies due to be the next big trend? Now, maybe I've missed it. Maybe I'm being a little bit naive here, but it feels like over the last few years there seems to be sort of trends with the old Instagram and food trends and things like that. Chocolate's had its day. Cookies had a big big thing and still do, but it doesn't feel like brownies. I think fudge is quite a big thing at the moment, it seems to me. But brownies, it doesn't feel like brownies have necessarily hit that peak. I'm not saying that there's not companies out there doing them. There clearly are, like yourself, John, but is that something that's due to take off, do we think, or do we think it's already there? Or like I said, I might be naive in this, but I just don't feel like I've seen quite as many brownie options or bandwagon jumpers. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of companies that jump on and just try and make something, and then they might not be very good. Whereas brownies, it just seems like there's great brands like yourself, John, but not necessarily everyone's jumping on it to try and make it and just make a quick buck.
I think MJ is not ready to say exactly what I'm going to say. But the thing is that I would say it, and everybody, all bakers know I talk too much. But there's a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon. You know what I mean? It's just like they're great at making cakes. They're great at making cupcakes. They're great at making pies. And then suddenly they're like, oh, okay, it looks like brownies are trending. Or, oh, look, that guy over there, Brooklyn Brownie's doing this. Let me throw some stuff on top of my brownie and see what happens. And I always say, I ain't going to bake a cake. I'm not going to try to sell a cake. I ain't going to try to sell a cupcake. All I'm going to do is make my bake a sick bitch and throw some stuff on top of her and sell it to you. And that's about it.
I mean, if you would ever in the future consider selling your banana cake, I'd totally be down for that.
I like that. We'll think about it. But no, man, it's just I say stay in your lane, man. You know what I mean? And perfect your craft. There is no hating on that. It's just like when you diversify and try to spread your wings a little bit too far, I think you kind of dilute your brand or whatever your brand stood for. And it kind of like, you're just like, I'm going to jump into this, jump into that. And you're like, okay, your page looks a bit crazy. Where everyone in Northampton knows, they come to us for brownies. This is now, I always tell Leah, it's like the mafia, this is now a brownie town. But it really is. I mean, in our social game, us two goofy dudes, we're the highest social media like restaurant or whatever we are in Northampton. And it all started last year, and it's just so goofy to look at. I mean, there's like bricks and mortar places we go and eat at, and we're like, the numbers are just nuts. It really is, man. And it's fun. It's satisfying. But I don't think they've hit their peak. I think our goofy trend and our Americanisms help a lot, because everybody thinks, oh, brownies, it's a very American thing, brownies. And then again, we're authentically American. So they kind of go, okay, they're kind of the trendsetters there. There are bakeries that do other things, but they're not brownie makers. And that's what we are, Brooklyn Brownie Company.
Yeah, it works though, doesn't it? Everything about the imagery, the name, the perfect 2-letter alliteration. No, three-letter alliteration. It's the Bros. Everything's there. The fact that it's American branded, but it's UK based. So there's because so many people in the UK have got this obsession with America, and we grow up and America's this huge influence on us. And you see it, like I was like, oh, Brooklyn Brownies, and then I found out, oh no, the guy's legit. He's a New Yorker and he's over here now. Like it's something that you can get behind. It's such a strong branding.
But that's the thing. It was like for years I hid being an American. So people would go,
didn't do it very well, mate.
Well, that's the thing. It was just like, we'd go into a meeting and we'd be chatting, blah, 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 and they go, oh, John, you're from New York. Yeah, from New York. Back on the product, whatever. I didn't go into the fact that, American, blah, 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 patriotic. I'm not patriotic. But the thing is, when I sat down to do the brand, what my biggest thing was, yeah, John, stop hiding. And the thing is, everything about this brand, it came at a time when we had to get over something. And I really wanted to stop hiding who I was, because my son, he privately, he looked up to, oh my God, my dad's from America. He's an American. So I kind of went, you know what? Maybe I should push that. Maybe I should give him something to be like, whoa, dude, let's get behind this. And once I did that, because I had sprinkles where the flag was before, because I thought, it's Brooklyn Brownie. Maybe I should feminize it. I got back into my production side of things. Maybe I should make it a bit softer. Maybe. And my buddy, the James Bond lookalike, he looked at it and he was like, this is garbage, John. Well, why do you put sprinkles in here? And I was like, well, the other option was going to be the American flag. He was like, I'd buy that today. And I quickly changed it and sent it to him. I was like, yep, that looks like a brand that's been around for a while. He's like, I'm trying to figure out where the shop is. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, the branding is so strong. I put so much weight into it when these like Instagram, or I say Instagram, like these brands that are big on Instagram but smaller companies have got, like, pay attention to branding. And I think the thing that is similar between yourselves and the Chocolate Smiths is that you put good branding, but also you put so much weight into your personality into it as well. And it just makes you feel a bit more connected with the brand, makes you more passionate for the brand. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that we launched it a little bit as a goof on April 1st, April Fool's thing, but it kind of ran away like a freight train, and then we had to quickly retract it and change it. And it was a Brooklyn Brownie tattoo. Welcome to the family. And now the tattoo parlors are open. There's already 5 guys signed up to get our brand on them. And it's that crazy.
Wow.
And we were like, whoa, dude! Because the thing is, you get a year's supply of Brooklyn Brownies for free, and then 50% off all of our products for life because you're part of the family. Can
we spend some Patreon money on this, Michael? I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm telling you, man. So we were just like, when the first person got in touch and they said it, I was like, what? You're joking, right? You're really going to do this? And he was like, yeah, man, I'll do it today. He's like, everything, we followed you from the beginning. We know what your business is all about. And it wasn't about getting the freebies and stuff. It was just like, yo, we know about you and Leo. We want to be part of this. And we were like, okay, cool. Yeah, so we changed it from an April 1st goof, because everybody's like, this is nonsense. They're going to get it done and we're not going to get, the brownies. And we changed it to a real thing, man. And we got some serious dudes. One guy's going to get it the size of what our boxes usually are, like the 10 centimeter. And I was like, whoa. He's like, yeah, I got a nice calf piece. The minimum,
wow.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, brother. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting it full color. I was like, wow, it's beautiful. But and he's a banker. I was like, it's crazy. But yeah, man, we've met so many cool people. It's absolutely nuts.
I love the idea of getting Stuart just covered in food company tattoos at this point. Have you got a particular part of your body which isn't like which is
I've got a very large torso and there's nothing on it.
Just to love a little list, maybe with like a code on it as well.
Takes us directly to the Instagram.
QR codes everywhere.
Brilliant.
Oh, lovely stuff. Excellent. I think that's covered brownies and blondies and all other D's. Stuart. No, not Stuart. MJ. Social media. Now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Suck man. It's time for questions that you posted on all the platforms that you utilize to provoke our replies. Although increasingly I'll post in the forms of statements that require no response, as opposed to the questions we requested in our initial post on the aforementioned Suck Man.
So we recently changed it up a little bit, and we no longer read everything. A good thing we don't either, because bloody hell. If you go and have a look at our Instagram post if you want to see the kind of comments that we don't read out. Anyway, it has put people off a little bit. So guys, do post your comments. We'll still read most of them. Just there's a few that we need to cut out.
Don't send photos of shit.
Yeah.
I'd say that
was a weird message I looked at this morning in a sleep in like a haze of sleep. I was like, oh, have a look at the old Instagram messages. Oh, this guy that recently messaged us saying, oh, hey, love the channel. Just randomly sent us a picture of a toilet with feces in. So I was like, is that what I think it is? So I thought, oh, I'm moving that out of primary. Let's put that in general. And Nate swiftly deleted it when he was up. Anyway,
for the record, John gets comments from people who will get their logo tattooed on them. We get that. That's pretty much where we are in the ladder of things.
Fan base, really, isn't it? So G188S says, "I like John."
Oh,
Cool.
Not a question.
No question, no. Comment.
G118S is.
Yeah. Shelby X says, do you prefer... So, this is the one that I'm not going to allow anyone to answer before I address it. So Shelby X says, do you prefer soft and chewy brownies or more stodgy and dense ones? Also, what are you saying about the crispy edges you get when you bake them in the oven? So, let me address. You've said here the two options are soft and chewy or stodgy and dense. However, I think these are somewhat... I'm not saying that you can't get brownies that are those, but I think there's more different types. And also, I wonder if some of these are mismatched. So, soft and chewy, I'd say maybe dense and chewy and soft and stodgy, if that makes sense.
Crispy and chewy.
But yeah, we've sort of covered the textures. But does anyone want to take that one or talk about the crispy edges when you bake them in the oven?
What's the point, isn't it? You want the edges. That's the whole. That's why we want the corner piece, because it's got two edges on it, and that's why John's made the all corner brownie.
Cornered the market with that one.
Yeah,
X Amelia _Hills _X.
Millers.
What are your... God, this is a doozy. What are your views on things like I nearly said fruit. What are your views on things like fruit in brownies? I had to do cooking as part of therapy. We all had to decide what we would cook. We went for brownies, but we were told they were not healthy, so we had to put in. I nearly did it again. But we had to put in fruit, and the group leader last minute decided to put a lot of prunes in the mix, and it was fucking gross.
Hershey Highway.
And safe to say, we were all regular for the next few days.
Jesus, Amelia's therapy. She's mentioned the things that she went through when she was getting better, and some of the stuff that she had to do is just mad. Like,
surely that's putting prunes in brownies. Yeah, is that not making you worse?
Yeah.
Why are they putting that in therapy? What sort of sadists they've got running that?
Shit your problems out. It wasn't Amelia who sent us the message, was it?
God.
So I've said this before. I basically am not a big fan of fruit in chocolate-based products. Like things like berries, berry type things. I'm not down for it. Prunes. I mean, that's on the lower end of that.
Prunes.
What would you say about sweet potato?
See now that I'd be all over. It's the clawing sweetness and berry-like fruit. So like the less sharp fruit. Like obviously I loved the Bananarama.
Yeah.
Sweet potato. I'd be down for that. Fine.
Yeah. Sweet potato.
Yeah, definitely. There's a producer who makes. Because the thing was, I went to London when it was markets again because I saw something on Instagram. I tried my first sweet potato brownie, and it was so lackluster. But I bought it already, walked away sad. But when this person popped up on Instagram, this other person, and we hit it off, me and this person. I was like, oh, okay. But in the back of my mind, I kept going, oh, but he makes sweet potato brownies. It has everything that I don't like in my brain, because I had that bad experience. And they're like, no. We just hit it off. A great guy. And then when we were doing the Steffi's orders, the way too many, because we were also doing our clients' orders as well. And we were burning out, man. But we were suddenly still doing our social media and everything else. And there was a knock on the door. And we had some brownies. We got some brownies from the guy. Cracked them open, and they were ridiculous. I got to tell you, if we didn't make our brownies, I'd buy theirs all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're decent. They're like 100 and 105 calories. I did not expect it, but he makes some ridiculous brownies. I absolutely love build and bake.
Oh, wow.
So is this a normal brownie with a sweet potato filling?
No, it is made with sweet potatoes. Build and bake, man. He's a gangster, and the thing is, he's an ex-copper. That's the thing, because I think we both hit it off because he knew my background, and he kept hearing that people kept saying, "Oh, you don't look like a baker," to like me and stuff like that. And he's just like, "Man, I used to be a cop or whatever else." And I was just like, "Whoa, really, mate?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I just got tired of it all." And then I went to see like a few competitions, bodybuilding competitions, and I brought these along. People snapped them up, people liked them, and I never looked back. And when he told me so, I was like, "Oh, cool," because I liked the mixer that he bought because he showed off a mixer he bought. And then he sent us that little treat. And in my head I was like, oh no, it's gonna be like London. I'm gonna have to lie. But man, the thing is, he's got the texture. The guy is a genius. You've got to sit down and you got to eat your product, and you have to be analytical about it. And if it don't taste right, just don't let people, shine a flashlight up your ass and think it's sunshine. You have got to be very, very critical about your food. Otherwise, you're just gonna be putting out crap. And he has got textures right. He's got the flavor notes right. And then when I saw the calories, I was like, oh, bro, you know what I mean? It's like when I get back on the training game, I'm definitely hitting you guys up.
Yeah, I just found them. They look fantastic. Yeah. I think we already follow them, so we obviously have seen them.
Only as of about a minute ago.
Exactly. I didn't. My statement was not a lie. We already follow them.
Yeah.
There's no need to.
Yeah, guys are awesome.
That's it. That's all the social medias this week.
There was nothing. There was something on Facebook, but I think it was just.
Oh, was there? I couldn't. That's weird. I couldn't find the post.
I thought it might have just been a yay, looking forward to this episode or something like that. I don't think it was. I do not think it was a question
That in any case, that is my fault because I did look for it on Facebook earlier and didn't find it. So I assumed that it didn't share properly on Facebook.
We actually have, and I forgot about this. We actually have a couple on Twitter for once. Do you want me to read them out?
Oh God, yes, please.
It's from the same guy. It's from Zach Jones. He's asked a couple of questions. The first one is: have you considered a birthday cake-sized brownie?
Yeah, we do the birthday cake brownie, and about 3 months ago, a gentleman who ordered other brownies of ours, he asked for the reversal. He asked for, can I get a birthday cake sized birthday cake brownie? So we did it for him.
Wow.
And yeah, he absolutely loved it. So it was a birthday cake chopped up on top of the brownie, vanilla frosting, the funfetti, the sprinkles, the white chocolate, the pink and blue drizzle on top of it. That's over top nonsense. And he absolutely loved it. So
nice.
Yeah.
So there you go, Zach. And the other question he came up with, which is a great question, and I wish I'd thought of it. What are some of your favourite ice creams, specific brands, not just flavours, to pair with brownies? Because obviously ice cream is a big pairing food to go with brownies. So what do you like to pair with it?
Ooh, well, in this, I love Haagen-Dazs. Definitely.
Correct.
There was the thing was back in the East Coast in America, there used to be a brand called FRUK, and it was the most ridiculous ice cream out there, man. But then they kind of went bust, and they stopped making it. They only made it on the East Coast. But yeah, the other day I went digging around because the name finally clicked in my brain. When you're a kid and something disappears, you're like, oh, I missed that. And finally I was saying a word, and I was like, oh, FRUK. And I went and looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, because the coolest thing was it came in a plastic container, the pint container. And the lid was also a bowl, and you peeled off this silver thing. It was one of the first ice creams that you wouldn't just pop open and lick in the shop. You'd peel off the seal, and then you get into it, and it was so creamy, man. It made Haagen-Dazs seem like crap, but it was good stuff. But unfortunately, I'm a bust. But yeah, I absolutely love Haagen-Dazs. We've got some local ice cream producers here as well. Galones, they hooked us up with, because I was going through this pistachio phase, because now I'm not allergic to pistachios. And we got 5 liters of that stuff. And half of it's gone, man. And the thing is, it tastes almost just like the stuff from Carvel back in the States, because that was the thing. I was trying to find it, so I was going to different places, different little independents. And then I also got one from Marks and Sparks, and I thought, ooh, this is gonna be good, before we got the one from our local. And I got the Marks and Sparks one, and Leah wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. But this one, man, the 5 liters is now, I think, only 2 left, and I'm about to have a bit more tonight. Wow. Definitely, it's good stuff.
The thing with pistachio ice cream is that there's, I actually prefer the ones that taste a bit more artificial. And
that's it. That's this stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because it doesn't taste, in your head, it doesn't taste anything really like a pistachio.
Yeah.
It's that nice Carvel taste, where you could drink a milkshake of it. It tastes like a vanilla ice cream with class, you know what I mean? And it's that funny off taste, and it's that nice minty color. Where the other guy that I was talking about, it actually tasted like toasted seeds, man. And throughout my life, I've always been forced to eat toasted seeds because I can't eat nuts. So I was just like, nah, mate, I'm done with you. And that went into the trash. But yeah, man, Galones, they saw. But apparently there's an issue with pistachios, because Italy or some nonsense. It's we're not getting that many pistachios back. So a lot of the other companies, they were like, yeah, we can't do pistachio ice cream because we can't get a hold of them. So I was like, oh, okay. So is that the last set in Northampton? They're like, yeah, I'll take it now. So that's just monopolized.
Wow. Oh my god.
5 liter in Northampton. I was like, yeah, buddy. So yeah.
Seeing we're talking about ice cream, I will just throw a shout out to something that I had some. I bought it. Anyone who follows us on Instagram will know the struggles that I had getting it. I bought it, ate some. I was like, I think I fucking love this. And then I had a few more servings, and I was like, oh no, this is mind blowing. And then I had some in a cone, and I was like, oh my god, the cone is what was missing. And I was like, I have to review this on video, and then I finished it. It's the Hackney Gelato strawberries and clotted cream. It is. Oh my god! It is. It's like 90% clotted cream and like 10% strawberry. Like the strawberry is almost not even there, which I absolutely love. That's how I like cream tea. It is. It's like it's only in the ingredients. It's only got. I say only. It's only got 10% clotted cream, but the whole thing just tastes of pure clotted cream. So it's really the tiny amount of strawberry that's in there just cuts through it. To make stop it being too rich. That being said, it is quite rich. So that's when I had it in the cone. I was like, oh my god, like 100% buying it again. You can get it from you can definitely get it from Ocado because I got it from Ocado when they got the order right. And I think you can get it from Waitrose. Massive shout out to it. I'm gonna have to send them a message saying, look, like what you have done with this flavour is insane. Because they've got a few other flavours that I've tried. Butterscotch, and that's really good. And they've got a pistachio, lemon, and almond, and that is very nice, but a bit different and a bit weird. But there's nothing wrong with different and weird, and it's really good. But the clotted cream and strawberry, I was like, it sounds amazing, but I bet it's going to be too strawberry, and it's just going to be like another strawberry ice cream. But no, it is like clotted cream ice cream with a bit of strawberry.
I gotta try that.
You're listening to FRUK Unwrapped, the Food Review UK podcast. Review it on iTunes if you dare.
Have you guys seen, talking about ice cream, the Chunky Dunkies?
No.
Oh my god. So Nike put out their latest collaboration shoe with Ben & Jerry's. And man, when my son showed them to me, I wanted to buy them. But they're gone. They were gone in seconds.
Oh, I did see them. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize man, those are the cloudiest shoes ever, man. But I cannot justify any reason to buy them right now. But yeah they're fantastic looking. Yeah. One of the most creative shoes I've seen in a while. Yeah. Exactly. They're totally pimped out. And then the box that they come in is just so gangster. It's not even funny.
I couldn't wear them though, man. I made a nominal decision 20 years ago that I was a three stripes man, not a tick man. I could not wear a pair of Nikes, even though I sometimes see a pair of Dunks that I like, or they did the Janoskis, which I quite liked, but can't wear them because I've.
Have you seen the Adidas Pokemon range?
I wouldn't wear those because I'm 42.
Born in the 40s, maybe.
Oh, man admits to being old, gets accused of being even older. What's going on?
Well, just old, innit? Ageism, probably.
Yeah.
Nah, really good. Really good. Yeah. I can't wear them because I'm not cool enough if they're Adidas.
Oh, hang on a minute. What, you bought some nice trainers last year?
Yeah, I suppose.
We had to. I mean, after you tried to get JD Sports to send them to you for free, but you didn't.
No, it was mainly a joke. I made a YouTube video about it. It was mainly a joke. Size 10.5. It was a joke. Size 10.5.
What shoes were there?
I'll send you the video.
It was a very good video. It was one of your best videos.
It was a good video.
Yeah. Speaking of good videos, Stuart, this has got nothing to do with videos. Sweet or savoury?
It's time to play a game. Let's play a game. It's called Sweeter or Savourier. We pull the name of a foodstuff out of a hat. You tell us what you think about that. Will the next foodstuff be sweeter or savory? Will it be sugary or covered in sour? There's just no way to know. But you must predict. Will the next foodstuff be sweeter or savory?
I don't think I've ever actually put it on my head before. You might have noticed that actually. That's actually an undersized hat.
I didn't think you could look more northern.
Doesn't fit on my head. It's a child's hat.
Oh, man in flat cap and sleeveless shirt.
I forgot. I need the hat. Right. It's a very simple game, John. I give you the name of a product. You have to predict whether the next product will be a sweeter product or a savourier product.
Okay.
Okay, so the first product out of the hat is bacon.
Oh,
Will the next product be a sweeter product or a savourier product? That is the 9th time bacon has been out of the hat.
Sweet, definitely.
Sweeter than bacon. Let's have a look. We have got.
Marmite.
It is Flaming Hot Monster Munch.
Ooh.
Oh, flaming
Just-
hot.
I think that is
yeah, it's a little
marginally
sweeter.
sweeter than bacon.
Corn in it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because it has got more of a sweetness to it, but it's still quite a savoury product. So that's a
Yeah.
decent call.
I haven't eaten bacon since I was 4 years old. It's crazy.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah. My dad, he read me Charlotte's Web, and then I never ate bacon again or any pork product.
Oh
ever.
no.
So that's why I don't eat the smorgasm. I don't eat gelatin. I'm just happy he didn't read me Fort Ferdinand when I was in that weird age. You know what I mean? Because I love steak. So
My son won't eat lamb. You know, my son won't eat lamb because we camped on a farm where they had baby lambs. When he was about 4 years old, and from that point on, has flat refused to eat lamb, which is less problematic than pig because, like you say, pigs in everything. Most marshmallows, crazy. Will the next product be sweeter or savourier than Flaming Hot Monster Munch?
oh, it's got to be sweeter.
It's got to be sweeter, hasn't it? What we've got? We've got
Oh no.
salt and vinegar McCoys.
Oh.
Savoury as anything. Fantastic crisp.
Delicious.
What crisp do you use on the Staten Island dump?
Oh, a nice ridged. What do they call that? They get them in Costco. They're nice rigid. They're not Lays. They're Ruffles.
Ruffles, yeah.
Yeah, that's 3. It's not great. It's not a great run. Not a great run.
It's not a terrible one.
Better than
Right.
some.
It's not terrible, but it's not great. 3 very savoury products in the grand
Yeah.
scheme.
Yeah, that was a bit shocking. I didn't expect that.
Can you just confirm there are other sweeter products in there, Stuart? Or you-
They're all just crisps. Crisps and variations of pork.
Hula hoops,
Yeah.
sausages. That's it.
Hi, Nate here. If you've ever listened to the show and thought, hey, those are some groovy kittens, I wish I could hang out with them, well now you can. Check out the Facebook group FRUK Unwrapped and Fans, where you'll find me, Stuart, MJ, some of the other guests, some other fans, some booze, some hookers, plenty of blow, and a lot of wholesome foodie fun. See you over there. Ciao, 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 ciao.
Oh, well.
That's something that I'm missing as well. East Coast beef sausages. You know, the hot dogs, the ones that like Frankfurter that are with natural casing. You just can't find them here. I'm looking everywhere, man. But I guess I'll find them at some point.
How's the Costco one compare?
Trash.
See, it's bad, you know. Like, it's terrible when some of the best food that you can get in this country is the Costco.
Yeah,
Costco
that's
cafe
it.
food. Like, I genuinely think the Costco hot dog is like a really good hot dog.
But the thing is, it's kind of like for value for money. Once again, like the pizza, ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
The hot dog and the drink, $1.50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's tasty. But when I want to put like a hot dog on my grill, so when you bite into that thing, that natural casing holds all the grease in it, and then it scalds you as you bite into it. Yeah, I just can't find that here. It's really tough. Well, as a beef one.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you mentioned the Costco pizza earlier, I did actually remember I have had that one, and yeah, that probably is one of the best American pizzas I've had in this country.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's quite sad. Crazy.
Yeah.
Is there any food in the UK that you do prefer to America out of interest?
I do prefer. You know what? I never had a Yorkshire pudding until I came here.
Now we're
And then
talking.
and then when I have some of that, and woof, yeah, they're quite. Yeah, I like that, man. Yeah, absolutely love them. And then your Victoria sponges. Oh man, whenever I go into like a bakery, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm just like, yeah, I'll take that. So I like your Victoria sponge ranges. Yeah, the UK actually does have some really interesting stuff that you can get to eat. My biggest issue is I'm allergic to so many things. I got to be really careful when I go out to eat. I got to know most of the time the restaurateur, or I got to know it's just going to be like it's like a chicken place or it's a beef place, or you know, because I'm allergic to all seafood. Well, I used to be all seafood, but then it's mostly shellfish now. So yeah, we did the whole allergy testing about a year ago, and I was able to start to eat fish. So just a year ago, I actually had my first like salmon, tuna. It was brain smashing. You know what I mean?
Oh, have you had fish and chips yet then?
Yeah, I had to go out and do that because you guys kept saying, "Oh, fish and chips." You know, Brits were like, "You gotta get your fish and chips." So I went. I think that's the issue. It's almost like going to see a movie. Everybody's like, "You gotta go see this movie. You gotta go see," and then you go and get your fish and chips, and you're like, "Okay."
Got to ask you the pertinent question of the night, then, John. In Northampton, do you have Chinese chippies?
I only had my first Chinese food. Just before the pandemic.
Was it from somewhere that also sold fish and chips, though?
No, because that's not a thing.
It's not down here, mate. It's not down here.
A thing. It's lies perpetrated by you and other Northerners.
I don't know. I'm asking. I used to live in Northamptonshire. I lived in Northamptonshire for 6 months.
Oh, really?
Going back, yeah. I worked in Kettering.
Oh yeah. So down the road.
I lived in Kettering for a bit, and there were no. The chippies down there do kebabs as well as fish and chips, which is weird.
Yeah. That's quite common. Kebabs in the fish and chip shop.
Weird.
One last quick question.
We got Greek fish and chips. You've got Chinese.
Have you had Papa John's UK and Papa John's US?
Yeah.
You've had both. Wait. You've had both. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they similar?
Not fully, but yeah. I don't know. I'm just got a thing against Mr. Papa John's. I'm just not. I'm quite vocal about it usually.
Isn't he problematic?
Yeah, he's a real interesting individual. So I would not support anything he does.
No,
we shouldn't be eating Papa John's. We shouldn't be drinking in Wetherspoons.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, it's just like, you know what? If we're gonna go with the chain pizzas, it is what it is, man. You know what I dig? The other night, because we go around, like I said, me and Leo go search for things, and now we're just really looking for things in Northampton. This dude, he started his thing called Garage Pizza in Northampton. Yeah, so the dude is like, he opened up his garage and he got one of those pizza, what do they call, like a Uno or a rock box or something.
Yeah.
And he's kind of mastered the dough and everything else. I didn't really expect much. But yeah, man, we turned up and people were saying it's really good. Turned up, give him some brownies so he could try those. We paid for our pizzas. I got like an array of them. I finally got a decent white pie. We drove away. Then we headed to our buddies at Yuma's because we wanted some wings. And while we were driving, my partner's feeding me the pizza. And the dough was ridiculous. It was nothing like a New York pizza. You ain't going to get that here. But I think it's, what do you call it? It's kind of some kind of like Italian. It's like a weird name that everybody tries to imitate.
Neapolitan?
Yeah, Neapolitan pizza. The dough was nuts. The dough had its own flavor. Without the cheese, he could sell this dough cooked on its own. And you can eat it with like a salad and a little bit of balsamic vinegar, whatever else. But man, this kid, he's got the dough down. And it's so hard when you're with another producer and you're trying to say, look, man, chuck in the day job because you're going to be so much happier making your own coin doing this. But I think a lot of people say this phrase because I've bumped into it quite a lot recently. It's a hobby, and I don't want it to become a stress. I think that's a way to put up your wall so you won't fail or whatever else. When really, I honestly don't care what day job you got. We've all seen in this pandemic that it could be gone in an instant. So guess what? I'd rather put myself forward and make my own, my own destiny, man. You know what I mean? And this is why I'm so happy with Brooklyn Brownie. And, you try to have a chat with people and you try to see where they go, how far you can push them. Not push them immediately, but just try to see how far they're willing to go. And then, you just have to leave it with them. But like with most of the producers, I tell them, send me a message, call me anytime you need any advice or whatever else. And I'm here for you creatively if you need any type of creative help. But yeah, man, I really hope he checks in that day job and starts slinging pizzas because he will smash almost every pizza place around here, man.
Wow. Awesome, man.
You said a white pie. Is that like with like a bechamel sauce instead of a tomato sauce, or what's?
Nasta is mozzarella. This dude, he played around with it a bit because usually in New York it's just mozzarella, ricotta, and a little bit of garlic and whatever else. But there's no sauce. Right. It's just really, really tasty, man. But here he used what's that cheese? It starts with a B. It's like a cream cheese.
The burrata.
No. It's got like yes, Borzen. Yeah, Borzen, and he used another one that starts with a P. It's a hard cheese. Provolone. Provolone, and mozzarella. Yeah, provolone, mozzarella, and the Borzen. Oof, my God, dude. That was like, a lot of people are like, oh, so it's like garlic bread? No, it was not like garlic bread, and I'll slap you if you say it again. But it was so tasty, dude, because the dough had its own flavor. And he kept like semi-apologizing, like, oh, it's getting a little charred. Now, guess what? I like the char.
Yeah, get the char on there. Jesus.
My God.
How is that a bad thing?
So flavorful. It was ridiculous. And then my partner and Leo, they split the pepperoni pizza. Usually they're not really big pepperoni fans. And they wolfed it down. They're like, next time, 2 pepperoni, just get 2 every. Because the thing is, his prices are so ridiculously cool. Yeah, man. I just hope he chucks in a day job. Really nice.
Interesting.
You've shouted out so many other independent producers tonight. It's been top, mate. Been really good.
Right. I was gonna say I was just gonna do an outro for the show, and I was gonna say it's we don't get as many. When we first started this podcast, one of the first things we really wanted to do with the podcast was to get people like yourself on, get people that are actually in the food industry. And whilst it's nice to have our friends on, have other people on, I think when we have people like yourself or Steffi or anyone else that's involved in the food industry, it's nice to see people like you who are passionate about what you do, and it's very keen to see. And actually, both of you have a similar ethos in terms of it's not just about what you do. You're both keen to highlight what other people do, and I think from our point of view, I think that's a fantastic thing because it's easy for you as a businessman to try and big up your business and try and to use your phrase earlier, corner the market and just care about making sure that Brooklyn Brownie is the absolute best thing it could be. But to actually try and give a little bit back to other people that you're passionate about as well, I think is fantastic. And it's been wonderful for us to talk to you, John. We've been talking about it for the last few weeks to get you on. I'm glad that we have. So thank you very much for joining us. It's been fantastic.
No, thanks for having me, man. It was great chatting away, and the quizzes and all that stuff. That was a bit different.
The quiz was awful. Let's be honest.
Felt like when I was back on the Weakest Link, man.
You've been on the Weakest Link?
Shut up. You just done everything.
Now this is the real podcast.
Exactly.
How was that?
It was cool, man. I ended up. It's on YouTube.
Lookalikes.
Shut up. What? A UK Weakest Link? Or?
Yeah. So look at it. Look at it on YouTube right now. Go Weakest Link, YouTube, lookalikes, and then it will pop up.
Oh my God.
So it was with Mr T, Madonna, Snoop Dogg, Ricky Gervais, Sven, like the football dude, and like a few other people. It was funny.
Most of them your mates.
Yeah. We just went up there. We ended up like just having a fun time, and then they filmed us the next day. And the cool thing was, when you won, it wasn't like a charity thing like real celebrities. They have to go, oh, we're giving it to the apples from wherever. I was just like, yo, haha.
For the record, apples from wherever is a very good charity.
You do not say that kind of thing around me because I will now make an apples from wherever t-shirt.
Exactly. But yeah, it was cool. And then I was on you guys watch Come Dine With Me?
Yeah.
Stop. Just done everything.
Well, that's on YouTube as well. I think it's on YouTube. But yeah, that was fun. That was cool. It was interesting.
I've got the Chip and Doubles up in another tab here. I've got that. Stuff.
Yeah, Chip and Doubles is funny.
What is this lookalikes for Come Dine With Me as well?
No. The thing was, I was with normal people. So that was the thing. It was just like, so I did it, and the problem I had was, like, now that it's all done, whatever, that was 2016. Problem I had was everybody kept going, yo, so who's on it with you? Even the boys, the Chip and Doubles. And I was like, oh, I think just regular people. They're like, they're not going to get like Stavros. And I was like, what are you getting at? And they was like, well, you're going to pull every trick out the bag, entertainment-wise, John. It's a little bit unfair, isn't it? And I was just like, yeah. It was cool. It went down really well because in the end, I had the A-team van out front. I had like bouncers, you know what I mean? I pretty much could have pulled off anything because I just called up my list of like entertainment buddies and they turned up. So I had James Bond in the back flipping martinis with like this Milton Keynes mobile cocktail unit bar, pro cocktails. They were ridiculous, and they had the best drinks ever, man. And the thing was, we couldn't get drunk on the show, but when the camera crew went inside, they were like, "Yo, we want to load," and I was like, "Bro." Why do I have to see my face, man? I was on Northampton Lift Tower. But once again, it's just all the random things. Like, I got to abseil that tower like 3 times already. It's just the crazy things I get to do when in character. It's kind of like all my degrees and everything else mean nothing. I slap on some chains and a wig, and suddenly people are like, "Oh, can we send you to the moon?" It's just like, it's fun. It's cool.
What do we need to search for to get the Come Down With Me?
Mr T, come down with me.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that, mate. That one might be on Facebook, though. That one might be on Facebook, definitely.
I'll find it.
Yeah. It was cool. It's a fun show, man. It's definitely fun. Just the amount of editing they do is ridiculous, and the days are really, really long. But
oh, really?
Yeah, man, they're really long, and it's very, very. They'll get the answers out of people who don't understand how to come across, man. Yeah. And I kept telling some of the guys, I was like, "Yo, dudes, I don't know if you want to say that." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I was just like, "They're not your friends. They're just producers. I do this all the time from a day job." "Oh, John, what are you saying to people?" I was like, nothing, man. And it was just tough because, like, in the end, when you saw the final edit, man, some people who were lovely came across really terrible. And they got slated on social media. Where me, I was just me, you know what I mean? It was just like, you're gonna get John no matter what. But they were trying to engineer some phraseology out of me to when I wish there was a secondary camera because it got very, very Brooklyn in my house. And they did not show all that at all because it was direct to the camera.
Oh, wow.
To the crew because I was not having it, definitely.
Just wait till I edit this podcast.
We're going to turn it into a villain. It's fun. It's fun to get me able to do TV stuff. It's goofy, you know what I mean? And then the thing is, Leo gets to go along with me and see some crazy stuff. Like when we did Tea in the Park, I was on stage with Snoop Dogg, and then we closed it with the script. 70,000 people going crazy. We did our huge selfie thing. It is cool, man. It's an interesting life because then you're like a crazy celebrity on the weekend, but then you're just this normal dude when you take off your hair and you get back to the hotel. That's about it, and that's what I love about it. You never believe the hype, man.
Like you say, though, all your degrees, all your qualifications, and you get all these experiences. You know, I studied music for years and years, devoted my life to it, and you got on stage with Snoop Dogg.
That's the thing. It's just like, I'm like, well, that's Snoop Dogg. And then, you know, they ushered Rihanna in. That was weird.
Oh, man.
And then the cool thing was I did Jerry Halliwell's wedding. So I was there out of like
What?
If you look up Jerry Halliwell, Mr T, that should pop up. And then we did Christian, you know, husband, Christian Horner, Formula One dude. I did his stag do. I didn't know who he was. It was the funniest thing, man, because his brother booked me. And I'm in London with my hood on and everything. And they're like, "Oh, we're going to pick you up on the corner of so and so and so and so." I'm like, "All right, man. I'm sweating my ass off here, man. My wig's almost falling off." And finally pulled up with the limo bus thing, picked me up. They're like, "Okay, we're going to get to the firehouse, some fancy place, whatever, where they're eating dinner. They don't know that you're going to be there." I'm like, "Fine, thank God." Take off my jacket. You know, we're driving in the bus. Bus dudes laugh and chat with me. So like, "All right, get out, John. They're going to be ushered out." So they usher these guys out. I just know that there's like 6 dudes. So they usher them out, and they're like, "Just go over the top." So they come out. "Quit your jibber jabber, you crazy fool. Oh, you're the good looking one. You're the face man of the group. Look at you, you ugly sucker." And all this stuff. You do the whole jibber jabber crap. They get on the bus, and they're goofing about, taking the pictures and everything else. And then finally they get Christian on the bus. And after like 20 minutes, they're like, "You don't know who we are, do you?" And I was like, "No." we do race cars, man. We do Formula One. And I was like, "Okay." So Adrian's like, you do know what Formula One is, right? I was like, is it like NASCAR? And they're like, yeah. It's just like, yeah, this is gonna be a great night. You got no clue. And it was a fantastic night, man. It was just like, there's such lovely characters and just funny dudes. David Coulthard, he was funny. He was the one I kept saying face man. And yeah, so like when you just chat with people and you're able to chat to them like normally, they're not like celebs. I think they appreciate it, and it was just like the fact that I didn't know who the hell they were just added so much more of a benefit because we got up to all types of nonsense, man. I was happy there wasn't a camera there.
It's crazy, isn't it?
There is a Sun newspaper headline about this. About Mr. T being invited to her wedding. Say you'll BA there.
Exactly.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because these famous people have essentially hired you to be the celebrity at their gathering. Like all these like billionaire Formula One drivers, and you're the special attraction. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cool, man. It was fun. And then we did still work with them every once in a while whenever there's like an 80s thing at Red Bull because they're just down in Milton Keynes anyways.
Yeah.
And they're just a lovely group, man. I mean, when they went to because I introduced their first dance and I made a speech at the wedding reception and stuff. When they did their first dance, man, yeah, I got a bit choked up with him and Jerry. Because they really a loving couple. I didn't expect I was going to cry, but yeah, I got a little bit like, I felt somebody tapping me on the shoulder because I went back into John mode. I wasn't Mr. T in that moment. I just thought, oh man, Chrissy looks cool with his girl, and then somebody tapped me on the shoulder, and I was like, well, what the fuck, you messing up my moment. And it was Mylene Class, and she's like, can I get in a picture? And I was like. At first I didn't realize it was her. I was like, this is awkward because it's the first dance. And I turned around, took a quick picture, and then after a while there was a whole line of people. And I was like, jeez, it's gonna get awkward real quick. But it was cool.
This weirdly loops us into my celebrity story. In that,
God. It's not the Suzanne Shaw one again, is it?
It's the Suzanne Shaw one, yeah. Man. So my mate from college, he was like,
last time you told this, you made me edit it out of the podcast. So
did I?
Yeah. Just remember before you tell it again.
I can't remember.
You previously made me edit this story out.
Okay,
of the
I'll
podcast.
make sure. I can't imagine which bit I would have been upset with.
It was when you said that Suzanne Shaw was a dick. No,
okay.
not her. Darren Day was a dick.
Oh, okay, good. Didn't say either of those things. That's fine. So yeah, my mate said that. My mate was like, "Oh yeah, so it was his birthday, and he was like, "Oh yeah, my sister's coming down today, so we'll see her after college." And we were like, "Yeah, cool." And he was like, "Yeah, she's best friends with Suzanne Shaw." And we were like, "Oh yeah, okay, Brad, yeah, that's great, good for you." Just didn't believe him because he was like, he had some stories that sounded a little unbelievable. So we were like, "Yeah, cool, whatever." So anyway, we got there, and then this car arrives, and like his sister gets out, and we're like, "Yeah, there's sister." And then Suzanne Shaw and Darren Day step out, and they like walk over to the house, and we're like, "Oh shit, son!" And they literally came in, and we had literally tea and biscuits with them, and one of the things that I said was that Mylene Class was currently on my wall because she was in the FHM calendar. So I said that to Suzanne Shaw. Yeah. So yeah, weird little hype. And you've met her, and she wanted to tell me with you. Brilliant.
Crazy. Small world, man. Absolutely tiny world. But yeah, that's my awkward, weird life, surreal life, I guess you could say. And now I'm baking brownies.
Wow.
Crazy.
Stories, though, innit, man? Stories.
Bacon brownies sound good. Yeah, there was us a few weeks ago going, oh, should we get this guy on? He seems quite a friendly guy. He makes brownies. I don't think anyone has expected some of the stories that have come out tonight. So,
especially from somebody baking brownies, yeah.
Exactly.
Guarding a president,
yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you for obviously talking to us about the brownies, but also thank you for talking to us about those other experiences in your life, which are fascinating. Sounds like you're living everyone's best life. Speaking of people who live their best lives, Michael, Stuart, thank you for being here as well, I guess.
Yeah, my life's great at the moment.
Stuart, you've studied music, and you get to spend bi-weekly episodes with me and MJ.
Yeah, better than Snoop Dogg, if anything.
Exactly. Nate Dogg. So.
Yeah. If only we had Warren G.
Yeah, regulate.
Yeah. And thanks for the listeners. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, which has been quite different to what I think we expected, but in an absolutely massively positive way. Join us in a couple of weeks' time when we will be joined by the crazy Charlie Fleming, I believe.
Oh, lovely.
Our next episode, so yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. And goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
That was a good ending, Nathan.
Do you know why?
Solid,
Because
solid.
you and Michael kept your mouth shut.
Got to
Behave, haven't we? Got to behave sometimes when you got the big dogs here, haven't you?